The last weeks were crazy in the AI world. All major AI companies released new, very capable and very powerful models. Anthropic released Fable 5, the best model we have at this point, and Opus 5, a model which is really close to Fable 5. OpenAI came up with GPT 5.6, a very close competitor to Fable 5 and therefore also a very important release. We also saw xAI releasing Grok 4.5, a model which is not completely on par with the top models, but very token efficient, so you get a lot of model, a lot of AI for your money. And we also saw Moonshot AI with Kimi K3, a Chinese competitor, not as powerful as the US models, but also a very interesting model if you wanna go beyond the US AI bubble scope. More importantly, with those tools, AI agents now became accessible and understandable for everyone, not just the tech guys, the coders, and the developers. We had large language models for the normal AI chat so far. This was just this large language model, this AI, with the knowledge it was trained with. Now with AI agents, this model gets enhanced. You now provide tools to this large language model, like web search, like code execution, even file access, even control of your computer. It can now control the browser, for example. And in addition to those tools, you also add a looping logic. So this means if you add a task to an AI agent, it will complete this task in many different loops, in many different iterations. So it starts the task, it gets a result, it analyzes the result it has, and then it decides how it should continue. And it continues this loop until the task is completed. So you can think about this like a guy was sitting in a room back in the days, a smart guy. You could go into this room, ask a question, get an answer. Now, with agents, this smart guy can complete tasks for you. He has internet access, he lives in your house and can actively help you completing tasks. Not helping actually, he completes the tasks for you. And if we look at the desktop apps that were updated in the last days, here for example from OpenAI and Anthropic to the right, we see that both apps look quite similar and both apps are tailored to this agentic AI usage now. Back in the days, we had the Codex application, which was OpenAI's desktop app, which was meant for coders basically. We can still find Codex here in the selection menu. This is basically the coder section that still exists, made for developers to work on their coding projects, but this is also possible now in the normal ChatGPT interface. I'll come back to that in a few seconds. Same thing can be found with Claude to the right. We have this home ribbon now, and we also have the Claude option. This is same thing as we just saw it. This is for the developers. Now with the AI agents coming to the desktop applications for everyone, this coding menu is not required for non-developers. So you can work on all of your projects, complete any tasks in the end directly in the desktop application in this normal chat. There you should select the work option though in ChatGPT, and in Claude Cowork in the home ribbon you should select the Cowork option. Cowork is basically the normal chat, which is also an agent with web access and this loop logic integrated, but Cowork and Work also have the ability to access files on your folders, so to interact with your computer. You have to grant them access to do so. Of course, they can't just access your entire machine by default, but by doing that, you have an AI agent, which has the large language model, which has the tools to search the web, to run code, and to access your machine. And you have this looping logic to complete the tasks until it is fulfilled. So it performs an action, it analyzes the result, and then it decides how to continue. So let's have a look at an AI agent example now. I prepared two folders. Both folders are exactly the same. I just want to have separate folders for ChatGPT and for Claude. The folders just contain some invoices that I want to analyze and summarize now. So what we'll do is we'll go to New Chat, and there we'll choose a project and generate a new project, Invoices Test. Now we'll add the folder. So here the ChatGPT folder, and create the project. And we'll do the same thing for cowork. So here I'll go to projects, create a new project, Invoices Test, and choose a new folder, Claude folder here. And now we create the project. And all I do now is I add this prompt. So the same prompt for both. So I want to go through the invoices in the folder and create an expense summary spreadsheet, maybe, and presentation to make things a bit more interesting. That's it. Now we can just run the model in both cases, here and there. And now both agents start their work. And as mentioned, this is now a loop that is initiated. So it will now define how this task can be completed. Start with the first step, complete this one, analyze it, and then decide how it should continue. That's now AI agents in action. Claude has a question regarding the exchange rate. So we have a US dollar invoice while the rest are in euro. So here we'll go to convert to euro, and we want to have a short internal overview for the presentation. Another thing that agent does here, as I mentioned, this action, analysis, and then decision thing, it sees that the text extraction utility is not available here for some reasons. So it is switching to bundled PDF libraries to be able to extract the information. Again, I don't do anything. I just let the agent do its work here. ChatGPT decides that it keeps the invoices separated, so the euro and US dollar ones. Of course, you could correct such decisions, but for this demonstration here, I just let both agents run and see what the results look like. Claude finished the tasks already. We can find a summary of what it did and what it amounts to. And we can find a spreadsheet, which is also stored in the project folder on your machine. So it directly generated files. Those are the two files, the presentation and the spreadsheet, but we can also have a look at those directly here in the browser. It also contains some charts, as we saw, and we have different ribbons. So all this was generated now directly with this simple task that I gave it. We also have a presentation. Let's have a look at that maybe. So we have a 6-slide presentation. I didn't add anything on styling, colors, or the general look of that thing, but it looks pretty good. So all this was now completed by this agent without myself interfering, besides that decisions that I made at the beginning where I got some questions back from the agent. Now we also have the completed task in ChatGPT. Let's check this summary here. The overall value is almost equal. We have the dollar-euro difference, so I won't dive into all those numbers. But we can also see an Excel file that was generated. Put this aside, so now we can see the file better. This only contains one sheet though, so the Claude version was a bit more detailed here. And if we check the presentation, yeah, then I would also say that Claude did a better job. If we quickly go back to the Claude presentation, this would be my personal choice here. So as you see, we have differences in those agents, in those AI tools, and how they complete the tasks. But the important takeaway is that this was just a very basic example on how you can use AI agents now. This is available for everyone, and you don't need any special knowledge to get those results. There is one thing to keep in mind though, because this comes not for free. You have to have paid subscriptions to get access to those latest cutting-edge AI models. And if I have a look at the entire package now, I would not say Fable or Opus 5, so the Claude subscription is the only one that makes sense, because that is, in my opinion, the most powerful one, the most capable one, but also the most expensive one. So you need the biggest subscription package to get reasonable amounts of consumption here, of usage. With the basic starting packages, you won't have a lot of fun because your tokens will be gone in seconds basically. ChatGPT is a different story. Here the cheaper plans, so the Plus plan, is okay to get started and to get decent usage out of the tool. It is almost on par with Opus 5 and Fable, as you saw for the presentation skills. Fable was better here, but you can of course tweak GPT to deliver better results. But in the end, it's also consuming a lot of tokens. And this brings Grok 4.5 into play. Because Grok is not the most capable, the most powerful model, but it is a very good model still, and it is a very fast model. It is faster than all of the other models, and it has a lot of usage included. So with a Grok subscription or an X subscription, you have different ways to get access to Grok 4.5. You get a very decent amount of AI usage with a very powerful model. Kimi K3 is a nice alternative. I didn't use it too much though because subscription was limited, so I couldn't dive too deep into this model, but you can explore this on your own if you want. So to get started, for the most accessible thing, I would say maybe use ChatGPT because we all know it. If you want to have more usage at a better price, then try Grok. And if you want to have the best possible results, then I would say try Claude. Now all those things change, of course. We have rapid changes and huge developments in that space now in the last weeks and months. So we'll see how this turns out in a few days or a few weeks though.